I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator here in the UK. Thank you for joining me. It's really warm here today. Oh, there's the kittens. Hopefully they won't interrupt us too much, but if they do, I'll move them on. As soon as I start crafting, they decide they want to come and join. There you go. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've got a really lovely wow card. Am I allowed to call it a wow card? Yeah, I like to make cards that have a bit of a surprise inside or something a little bit different. This is one that I've made previously. It's got a hidden flap inside it. So you open it up, looks very unassuming. That slides over and then open it further and it's got a sort of book feature. What I like about it is you can put a really nice personal message inside that the whole world doesn't have to see, but it's very effective. Folds flat for the post and you can jazz it up as much or as little as you want. I also like the fact that it uses lots of DSP, so that beautiful designer series paper that Stampin' Up does. If you've watched my videos before, I have trouble with both sides of the paper. I just want to use it all. So this, I think actually on this one, there's probably 5 different, one on the front, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces of designer series paper on this style. Now, obviously you don't need to put as many of those different styles. Just make it your own. So let me show you what we are making it with today. I've got some of the very lovely hand-penned paper. I think it lends itself well to this card because you've got floral on one side and lots of different pieces of, oh look, the pansy paper's got in there. It's hiding. You've got lots of different variations on colours. Some are just 2 tones, some are lots more, but they're really, really beautiful. And then the other side of them is equally as beautiful. So I will show you those that I picked. I'm actually probably only going to use 2 sides of the designer series, 1 sheet, both sides of the paper, just to show you don't have to put lots and lots. And then I've got some of the in colour card, the soft succulent and the evening evergreen. I did think that I might do the outside in soft succulent and the inside in evening evergreen, but I may change my mind as we go along. Let's get making. So I'm going to put what you need here, as in paper, card base. We need a piece that's 5 7/8 by 10, and then we're going to score it. You need some designer series paper, 3 the same size, and then 1 for the panel, and then the inside flap, which is the mechanism that we're going to do. You need another piece of card that's 4.5 by 7. We're going to score it, and then you need 3 pieces of DSP. I've actually put 3, but you would get away with 2 and use 1 card to write your sentiment on. But all will be explained as we go along. So let's get making. So I'm going to start with the base card. I've got soft succulent and I need a piece that is 5 7/8 by 10. So I already know that it's not long enough on there, that side. So I'm going to cut it off at 10 inches. So 10 inches. It's probably off of camera. You probably can't see my 10 inches. But you'll be able to see it again in a minute. So 10 inches on the long side. And then 5 7/8. Now, as I'm in the UK, this will fit a UK normal size envelope. You might need it a fraction smaller for the US, but there's really not much in it, so hopefully you won't. So we've got our base bit of card now, that's 5 7/8 by 10. Now on the long side, we need to score it. So we're going to score it once, at 4 1/8. 4 1/8. Remember to get rid of that cutting blade. Oh, the amount of times that I've cut instead of scored. And then the second one is 8 2/8. And then what you're left with is this end panel, okay? So that literally is your base card. Now what you're going to do is that's going to fold around the front. So that's the front of your card. This is the inside, and then this will form the flap. So while I've got this here now, I'm going to add the designer series paper that I want on the inside and the outside and this flap. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. So the front of my card, this piece, I'm going to stick my DSP straight on. Look, I've got new glue, so you know what's going to happen, it's going to pour out everywhere. Do like a new glue. So I definitely want it that side. Let me just double check. Do I want it that way round? Doesn't really matter, does it? It's an any way up piece. Oh look, it's got an air bubble in it. Okay, there's way too much glue there. Let's hope if I spread it. You really don't need a lot of Tombow glue because it's very strong. I just want to give it a bit of wiggle. So what I'm doing is just looking round the edge of my card because there's just a slight border that you can see the soft succulent. So that is the start of my card, the front. Okay, so turn into the inside. These two bits, they're going to be seen, but your eye will be on the flap in the front. So I would use a plainer piece, still pretty, but rather than all the floral, I'm just using this stripy paper. It's got sort of a watercolour effect, which I really like. Again, it's from the hand pen set, so it's got the shades in it that I'm looking for that coordinate exactly. Stampin' Up is so good at the coordination. You don't even have to think about it, and that's why the card comes together so quickly. So again, I'm just making sure there's a border all round my piece of DSP, and I want the same on that side. So that's good. Ooh, off camera, the little kittens are wobbling. They're walking around by my ankles. Hopefully they're not going to go on the table. They're just about 6 months now, and they're starting to get up to all sorts of mischief, like climbing trees. Okay, so that's the inside of my card. Now this flap, eventually I'm going to fold that over and it will be stuck down, so you're not going to see the inside. So I've already got a panel for this bit that's cut. Oh, did I give you the size of this? So the DSP here is 4 inches by 5 6/8, and you need 3 panels that are the same as that, and it will exactly fit. Now this panel is 1 5/8 by 5 6/8, and I've deliberately contrasted that so that it ties in with the front of the card when you open it. And I'm just going to stick that on. Yeah, so we've got a massive, great big tree out the front of our house. I'm talking really big. And about 11 o'clock last night, there was all this, well, terrible noise outside, like wailing. And one of the kittens was actually stuck up the tree. So my husband had to get the roof ladder out and climb, which was actually pretty scary. It was that, or call the fire brigade, and he managed to rescue her. So I've been really wary about letting them out this morning. Okay, so that's the front of my card, that's the inside done. So that really is the base done, apart from decorating the front, which we'll do at the end. So I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm going to move on to the inside. So I'm not sure which colours to go for, whether to still do the soft succulent or whether to do the evening evergreen. I think I might do evening evergreen just as contrast, because I can always remake the card if I don't want it. So the card size that we need for this is 7 by 4.5. So that means, I'm going to cut this off at 4.5 by 7. Okay. So let's get that cut first. Right, I'm just going to open the door for the kitten. Hang on. There you go, Amber. Hello. Right. No, you have to be quiet. I'm talking. So it's 4.5 by 7, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. You've got to be quiet. 1/2 inch. You're going to tell me you want to go back out now? Okay, quickly then. Sorry. 1/2 inch. Score at 1/2 inch. And then 3 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 3/4, 4 1/4. Okay. Honestly, we thought getting some kittens would help with empty nest syndrome, but they're worse than the kids. Right. Let me go through these sizes again because I've just really distracted you. So this is 4.5 by 7 inches. You score it at 1/2 inch. You score it again at 3 1/4, 3 3/4, and then 4 1/4. And that will be that piece made. Now, before I do anything with these score lines, I'm going to add the DSP. So the side that's just got the 1/2 inch score, that's going to end up being the inside of your card. So if I show you on the one that's already made, that's going to be this bit here, okay? So on my original card, on the original card, I didn't want a plain colour, so I just went for a light pattern DSP. But actually on this one, I've got quite a lot that I want to say. So I need lots of room to write. So that is just going to be just a piece of basic white cardstock. Okay. That is a lot of glue on there, but hopefully it will spread out nicely. And again, it's just an 1/8 of an inch smaller than this panel, so that the size of these DSP pieces are 2 5/8 by 4 3/8. You need 3 pieces, but one could be a basic white piece that's ready for you to write your message or stamp your message on. Now this is also the inside, so I think I'd like a really nice florally bit, and I want it to match the front of my card. So I've just gone for exactly the same pattern, and that's going to go on there. So there's 2 long score lines there that you're ignoring at the moment, and you're putting your piece of designer series paper in the other big rectangle. Okay, just like that. Now if you flip it over, on this first rectangle again, that's going to be the outside of this mechanism. So I'm going to have that just a plain green colour, just a light pattern, so that when I open it, there really is a bit of a wow, sort of like, oh, that's so beautiful. Because there's nothing nicer than giving someone a card and you getting a bit of a reaction to it. I love that. That's what floats my boat. So on this side you've got a white panel for your sentiment, you've got a designer series paper panel, and then on the other side you've got this. Now we can do all these score lines, fold them in place. So this piece here, that's the 1/2 inch, that's actually going to fold backwards. So I'm going to put my paper over on the wrong side, and I'm just going to burnish that with my bone folder like that. Okay, so that now comes like that. Now this, if I do it, so I'm just folding along each of those lines with my bone folder, but keeping it like that, so okay, like that. And I just need to do that last one. It's really important that you do it, even though it looks like you don't need to. And then these 2 strips here are actually going to be glued together, so that forms your book piece that opens. So let's put some glue on here. And this, you don't want to put too much glue that it squirts out everywhere, because that will interfere with your mechanism. So I think that is okay. Line it up here and just press down. And I'm just going to do that again with my bone folder, just because it gives you a really firm crease. It also gets any glue out that you don't need. Okay, and then I'm just going to check that that works, like so. Okay, so that's it. Then if I bring my card back over, my original base card, okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm opening it up, and this line along here is where this piece is going to stick. So I'm going to put some glue on this 1/2 inch flap. Okay. And then what I'm doing is placing it on there, but I want it to meet the edge so that it folds, it's right on the fold. Okay, now I'm just doing this by eye in the middle of my card. You could find the middle of your card and the middle of this piece and match it up. Okay, I'm just going to press that down so I know that it folds. Okay, and put it over that way. Just make sure, look, perfect. Now this piece, it goes over, it slightly overlaps your opening, and that will hold that in place, but also allow it to slide under when you close the card. So I'm just going to put some glue along the bottom and the top, because I don't want this bit stuck. And I'm just going to hold that in place, there and there. Okay, give it a second or two. You don't need a lot of time with Tombow glue. Okay, and I'm just going to check it slides under and it closes. Ta-da! But then you open it. Oh, that's a nice card. Oh, that's beautiful. So I hope, oh look, that little bit's come up. Just need to stick that bit down. So I hope you get that sort of reaction. If not, do it for them. Oh, look. How lovely is that? That's going to keep coming up, isn't it? I need to put a bit of Tombow glue on there. Okay, so now it's up to you how you decorate it. I wouldn't put much decoration in the middle because that's going to interfere with your sliding action. You could put something flat on there, but inside just stamp a pretty border around, do a lovely sentiment, but that's really it for the inside. You've already done the well bit. For the outside, so I've got the hand penned petals set, and I've already stamped and coloured with some stamping blends a couple of this image here, and then I've used the dies that match with it just for the front. Now I'm not sure if that's too busy on top of that, so what I thought is if I layered it on one of the stitch circle dies, which I know are retiring, boo-hoo, something like that. Okay, and I think I would layer that, but then cut this up a bit. Now, I'm not really sure how, but let's have a go just quickly before I put it all together, because it's quite a big image, and if you look on this one, I actually started colouring it in fresh freesia because I thought it would stand out more, and then decided that I didn't like it. So I went back to doing the colours that are on this designer series paper. Can you see just there? So the pale papaya and the blue is actually, ooh, what is the blue? Can't remember. Answers on a postcard, please. So that, see, that still looks beautiful, and that could layer on top. Let's stamp this sentiment first. So, oh, I think I've got the art gallery set, because I just wanted a very simple happy birthday. I'm going to do it in evening evergreen because I do want it to stand out. So let's see if this actually fits. I didn't check. So happy birthday. Oh, just on there. Hang on, Amber. Nearly done. So that's just going to go like that. I could also do with some ribbon actually. What do you think? Do you think you need a big one as well? Let's do that. Let's stick this on, just so we actually finish a card together. So I'm just putting that straight on the back, on the front of the card, just with some Tumblr glue, because I don't want that higher up at all. I'm going to put the same with this. Well, I do think it gets a bit lost, but let's put that on as well. Put some glue on there, because that's sort of where I want it to go. Like so. Now this I'm going to put on with dimensionals so that it stands out. Like so. About there. Okay, and this, ooh, over the top, underneath, I think over the top. Let's put a couple of dimensionals on the back of there so that makes that a bit higher, and see where that fits on. Yep, that's nice. And then, oh, maybe this little flower over here with some leaves. So I might have to cut them off separately. So don't be scared when you've got a big image and you think, oh, I don't know what to do with that. Because you can hide, like if I put those, my cutting's not very good on that, but if I put the leaves underneath, it still looks lovely. Actually, I'm going to do that now. Nobody will see my poor cutting skills. That's going to go there. And then the little flower I'm just going to put over the top. Hang on, Amber. Don't know if you can hear her. She's meowing a lot now because she's gone out and she wants to come back in. Ooh. Right, quick cutting skills. Do I need a dimensional on it? I don't think I do, because I'm going to stick it straight on there. Okay, let's have a look. And then all I think I need is some little gems just in the centre of the flowers. So I think we're done. Ta-da! Oh, look at that. That's a pretty card. Oh wow. Oh my goodness, that's such a wow card. I hope you like watching. Thanks. See you soon. Bye.